Hey everyone, it's Lisa from SavingCentByCent.com. So last week I shared with you about freezer meals, and I have these 7 make-ahead freezer meals that I shared with a lot of you, and I just had a huge response with people wanting the freezer meal recipes and also questions about freezer meals. So I wanted to go over and give you tips on doing freezer meals that will hopefully help you out and just make your life easier when you have busy days. So first of all, I'm going to share with you how to do casseroles. So sometimes I buy these tin aluminum casserole dishes. These are so nice to have when you're going to be giving these away to friends or neighbors who need meals. So I do keep these on hand. But if you want to save money and don't want to use these all the time, here's what I do. So I actually get a casserole dish. This is a glass casserole dish. And I line it with aluminum foil. I like to use the heavy-duty aluminum foil just because you're going to be putting it in the freezer and you want to add extra layers of protection. So I'll put the aluminum foil in the casserole dish and I'll spray it with some light cooking spray, and then I'll go ahead and I'll make my casserole. In this instance I made enchiladas, and then once I do the enchiladas, I'm going to take another piece of tin foil and just go ahead and cover it, and then you're going to put it in the freezer. It's going to need to be in the freezer probably about 4-ish or more hours. I left mine in the freezer. I left mine in the freezer overnight, and then brought it out this morning. So now my enchiladas are frozen. So I am going to now, all I have to do is take the aluminum foil and just lift it up out of the pan. So that way I can still use my casserole dish another time, and also you don't want to freeze for long periods of time. You don't want to freeze the glass dishes. They might break, or something might happen to them. So anyway, so I'll have this, I can just wash it and use it for another time. So what I'll do is now I've got my casserole frozen, and I'm just going to wrap it up. So I'll kind of wrap over these edges, and I'll go ahead and I'll put this aluminum foil on top and wrap it up really well. And I'll go ahead after I do that, and I'll actually take more aluminum foil and I'll wrap it really good another time. And then on top of that, I like to actually take plastic wrap and do an outside layer. So I don't want to get freezer burn on my casseroles, so I make sure to wrap them tightly. So after this, another layer of aluminum foil, and then actually a layer of plastic wrap. Now you want to make sure to label label your meals on the outside. You can get tape and put the tape over and write like what it is, the date, and kind of directions on how to cook it. So that's really important. Now when I'm ready to use my freezer meal, I'm going to take it out of the freezer and unwrap it, and I leave this this last layer on the casserole just like this. I'm going to take the same casserole pan I used, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it right back in, and I'll cover it again with this aluminum foil, and then I'll put this in the fridge for 24 to 48 hours to thaw, and then after that I can just put it in the oven to cook. Now you can cook a casserole right out of the freezer, but you're going to need to cook it for a lot longer. You're going to need to cook it for like 3 or 4 hours if it's frozen. So it's good to plan ahead a little bit, get this in the fridge to thaw for a few days, and then you can use it. It's ready to use. So that's what I do to cut down like on freezer burn. And most freezer meals, you should use them within 2 to 3 months. That's just kind of the general guidelines. So that's kind of how to do a casserole. I also do freezer meals where I put in the bags. Now this is a Hawaiian meatballs recipe that I shared with you. And just DM me and I can share these recipes with you again. But this was really easy to do. When you put it in the gallon Ziploc, it's good to, if you can get the freezer Ziploc bags, those are the best, but I don't always have them, but I'll just go ahead and put it in the freezer gallon and then put it in the freezer. I say to label them. I've written all the directions here and I've labeled it, because after it freezes, you'll think, oh, I'll know what that is when I get out of the freezer. But once it's frozen, you can't really tell always what it is, so be sure to label it. So anyway, those are just some of my tips to freeze meals. If you have questions, please send me a message. If you want me to continue to share more tips like this or continue to share freezer meals with you, just let me know. Anyway, so I hope that's helpful. Have a great day. See ya.